were abundant springs, still are, on the property. Now the Covilles didn't own it at the time it had passed down, but a group of businessmen in Tahlequah purchased the land from the man who did own it. And at the time, the Coville cabin was still there. There's a picture where you can see the Coville cabin. There was the water was there, the hill was there. It was a very good location just north of the town of Tahlequah. I think they purchased about 40 acres and decided they appointed a committee to oversee the construction of the seminary. The construction began within a year, less than a year, of the destruction of the female seminary, which occurred on Easter Sunday of 1887. So before the new year of 1888, they were already working on the new building. One of the interesting stories, the secretary of the committee that oversaw construction was a man named Gideon Morgan. He was a prosperous Cherokee businessman who moved down to this area specifically to be close. Some years before the seminary was built, the second seminary was built, he planted a black walnut tree up near the top of the hill. That tree was in the way of where the architect and the builder decided to construct. They would have to take the tree down. It was a sapling at this point. And Morgan convinced the architect and the builder to move the building 40 or 50 feet to the north. So the tree survived and will play an important part in the history, the subsequent history of the seminary and of Northeastern. Well, the construction materials came mostly from the area. Brick was, the clay was dug for brick just north of where the building is now, and I understand that there was a depression there until the 1930s or 40s when the expansion of Northeastern obliterated the site. Logs were cut nearby for framing timber and for the milled lumber. The bricks were burned or created in a kiln near the site, and most of the materials were local. I did a piece some years ago on a man named Henry Vogel, who was one of the workers who laid the foundation of the school. He actually lived in Siloam Springs and would come here for the week, and occasionally he had to walk all the way from Siloam Springs and had some interesting encounters along the way. There was a great deal of political tension when the school was being built. Vogel came in one day and people were carrying rifles. There was a tribal election, and it was Cherokee politics gets very bitter. But it was a very interesting period of time. And the building was completed in the spring of 1889, and on May the 7th, a very important day in Cherokee history. That was the date the original Cherokee Female Seminary at Park Hill was dedicated. The facility at Northeast, or where that is now Northeastern's Seminary Hall, was dedicated on the same day, 1889, in fairly impressive ceremonies.